Hello Ron, Janet and Shankar. It's been great to visit you here at Murshidabad in the West Bengal state of India as part of our field visits on rural livelihood creation in the Indian craft sector. We've had the opportunity of interacting with Freeset Fabrics during our project, which is a collaboration between the Harvard South Asia Institute and the Tata Trusts. Would you like to share something about the vision, mission and larger objectives of Freeset Fabrics with respect to the Murshidabad setup and the larger vision that you have in terms of empowering the local population, especially the women, so that they can be economically and socially self-sufficient?
Well, Freeset Fabrics is the first business that's been established by Freeset Business Incubator, which was formed specifically to address the issue of poverty and the risk of migration and trafficking of women to the city.
Right.
Our goal in setting up Freeset Fabrics was really livelihood creation, to offer the most vulnerable of those women, the most at risk, the opportunity for training and employment.
Right.
So a social worker.
Okay. And you said, you shared with me earlier that this entire objective of the Murshidabad setup is to prevent women from being trafficked, from getting into bonded labor, etc. So how has that aspect been taken care of by setting up this handicraft and handloom institution here in Murshidabad, in the heartland, in the heart of the Berhampur area?
The driver for this migration, looking for work in the city, is extreme poverty. So by bringing employment to this district, they don't need to, they're not tempted by these false offers of employment in the city. They don't need to go because they can have a job here, a well-paid job where they stay at home and live with their families as well.
Right, right. You've also been a part of a workshop which we had at EDI in Gandhinagar in January of 2016, and we had about 50 organizations pan-India, all working in the Indian craft sector. So would you be able to share some of your experiences while at the workshop, and what do you think were the major takeaways from that workshop?
Well, first of all, it was an amazing opportunity to network with a big group of people who actually have the same goal of livelihood creation through craft, through working with artisans and with the poorer in the community. And I think hearing some of the presentations and participating, being part of some of those conversations was very affirming as well in what we're doing, finding that people are experiencing similar challenges, have the same vision overall to see change. And also it spurred me on to hear the keynote speakers. I remember we had Ashok Chatterjee remind us of what had been said about handloom as being a sunset industry, but actually we're part of changing that. We want it to be sunrise. And I think that this, what the workshop did for us, and we're very grateful to Harvard South Asia Institute and Tata Trusts for enabling it, is it was a catalyst really, a mobiliser. And also to have been recipient of the grant has been extremely helpful to us as a fairly new business in trying to identify actually how can we do things better. We're always wanting to look at our quality and continuous improvement, and by doing that we can not only improve our output and our capacity, but in the process offer more work to more women. And that's one of the benefits of handloom.
Right.
So many hands are involved.
Right. You mentioned about the grant, Janet, and there were 30 organizations that had applied for the Harvard South Asia Institute Social Innovation Grant for the craft sector. And out of those 36 got selected, and Freeset Fabrics was one of them. And you had a very interesting proposal where you wanted to bring about changes in the ergonomic design of the looms. Usually ergonomics is something you talk about in big factories, but it was intriguing and interesting for us that you were looking at a good ergonomic design for the looms in this sector. So would you like to share something about the grant, how it helped, and how the objective of ergonomic design, the right kind of ergonomic design, is relevant for this sector, especially when the focus is more on the commercial and sustainability aspect, whereas you're looking more from the employee well-being and health aspect. So your thoughts, Ron's thoughts, and even Shankar's thoughts.
Yeah, sure. I mean, when we first started doing this, we saw there was one size loom, but there's lots of different sizes of women. And of course, most weavers are actually men, and they're therefore slightly bigger.
Right.
So we could see straight away that there was ergonomic issues there. And this is also in other areas, not just the weaving, but doing some of the other activities in the weaving process. And we could see there was a need to do something about that, to take away the stress on their bodies in the long term. So you could have things like repetitive strain injury or particular joints in their body would be under a lot of pressure and wear. So we decided we needed to do something about that. And the grant, of course, from our South Asia Institute, Tata Trusts, helped us do that. It provided the funding we needed to do that job.
Right. How do you think a better ergonomic design, and you mentioned the health part, can have its own commercial impact? You'd like to say something on that, the link between why should the handloom industry focus on a good ergonomic design of the looms from a commercial perspective? Does it have any commercial benefit, or is it just a softer aspect of good health and employee well-being?
It certainly has a commercial benefit as well, because first of all, if you're operating a piece of equipment that is actually difficult for you to do, you're going to get tired during the day and get slower at it. You're going to be worn out, and this will be less productive. But in the ergonomics study, we've not only looked at how the women interact with machines, but also how the machines work. And we've been improving the machines and how they operate, how we control the weaving as well in a much better way than the traditional looms that we originally bought work. And by doing that, we produce consistent quality now, as opposed to, we had at one time probably a second quality scarf rate of 45%. We're now down to 5%.
Wow.
That's how big the difference it can make. And the output, the production, has gone really up and up and up.
Right, right. Shankar is a master weaver at Freeset Fabrics, and he's been with the organization for many years now. Would you be able to share your experience with Freeset Fabrics and how you think this institution in the middle of Sherpur in Murshidabad is having an impact on the lives of the surrounding communities?
আমি যখন বহরমপুরে ছিলাম তখন আমার এখানে এসে আমি এখানে দেখেছি যে এখানকার মেয়েরা খুব অসহায় এবং তাদের সঙ্গে কাজ করতে আমার খুব ভালো লেগেছে এবং আমি ওখানে যে তাঁতগুলো ছিল এখানে শিখেছি তাঁতগুলো রন্ডার সাথে সাহায্য নিয়ে তাঁতগুলোকে আমি অনেক উন্নত করেছি এবং সাউন্ড লেস করেছি এবং আরও অনেক উন্নত করতে চাইছি আমি এবং রন্ডার সঙ্গে রয়েছে এবং জ্যামিতি এবং অনেক রয়েছে এবং এই জায়গায় কাজ করতে খুব ভালো লাগে কারণ এখানকার মেয়েদেরকে আমরা সাহায্য করতে পারছি এবং এটা খুব গুরুত্বপূর্ণ যে আমাদের জন্য যে মেয়েরা অনেক অসহায় মেয়েরা কাজ করছে এবং অনেক স্বাধীনতা পাচ্ছে এখানে কাজ করে স্বাধীন হচ্ছে এবং এই কোম্পানি আরও অনেক বড় হবে আমি আশা করছি।
In my time in visiting Kolkata and working with Freeset in Kolkata, I came to understand the reason why women were being trafficked, and then came to visit here. And we know that some girls, maybe as young as 11 years old, 10 years old, are trafficked, as well as young women. And it was very sad to see this and think that this could have been my daughter or my granddaughter who was being trafficked into a very terrible trade. And the reason behind that, of course, as you see when you come here, is the poverty. So I think Jambo would probably say similarly, our hearts were touched by what we saw, and we wanted to come and make a difference here and provide that way out of being stuck in extreme poverty, having no choice at all, and no standing in society as well for these women here. And that's changed. If you hear the stories of some of these women about how their life has been changed with Freeset Fabrics, it's not just a job.
Right.
It's a community. They support each other as well. They have standing in the community as people who earn money,
Right.
which is so unusual. And there was one of our women the other day. Her father said to her, "You're not my daughter, you're my son." And that's a huge thing, because he was now saying, "You're equal to a son in my eyes," because of what she's doing.
So on the theme of weaving freedom, which you mentioned, and which is really interesting, because you're not actually weaving a piece of cloth, you're weaving freedom for women of this community and this locality. We would conclude, and I must say that this visit has been really very eye-opening for us to see how these things happen, how these women are weaving their own freedom, how that is being perceived by the local community, and how your organization is providing the right ecosystem and infrastructure to catalyze and facilitate that process. So thank you very much, and we look forward to having you over for the January event in Delhi. Thank you.
Thank you.
Namaskar.